how to make this Minnie Mouse keychain, bag charm, or this could just be an applique. You could put it like on a beanie or wherever you want, but today, or even like a coffee cup cozy, there's so many things you could do with this little Minnie Mouse. But today I'm just going to put it on a keychain, kind of use it as a keychain or a bag charm. So even if you don't know how to crochet, I'm going to show you every single step, how to every single stitch, how to make this cute little Minnie Mouse. So this is perfect if it's your first time crocheting or you're still a beginner. So thanks again for watching, and do not forget to subscribe if you want to learn more about crochet. Alright, so to make Minnie Mouse, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need just yarn. I'm using pink and white. You can use whatever color you want. Since this is a very beginner friendly tutorial, I chose white instead of black because black could be hard to see the stitches. So if you've never crocheted before, and you're using this tutorial to learn, I do recommend a lighter color because black could be hard to see the stitches. And then whatever color you want for the bow. So I thought pink and white would be very cute. This is just size 4 acrylic yarn. This is Big Twist value, and then this is Premier just worsted acrylic. It's for the Dollar Tree. You could also get it at premieryarns.com. I do have a link if you order it online in case you can't find it at the Dollar Tree, where you could save 10% off Premier Yarns. But anyways, it could be any acrylic yarn. It could be, you know, Big Twist or Premier or, you know, Red Heart or the Mainstays one from Walmart. Just any acrylic yarn. 2 colors. One for the Mickey face and then one for the bow. And then I like to use a, let's see if this wants to focus. But it's a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. That's what I find best. Works for me. You could always use a smaller one as well. And then I do get like an embroidery needle or darning needle, whatever you want to call it, just to sew the bow on, and the ears you do need. There is some sewing. And then obviously you'll need scissors. And then the last thing is a stitch marker just to keep track of your rounds. So yeah, that's all you need. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and then I almost forgot, if you want to make it into a keychain, don't forget to get a key ring. But like I said, this project you can make into several different things. But for this video specifically, we'll make a keychain. To start is we're going to make a magic circle or a magic ring, whatever you want to call it. Make sure your yarn tail is facing down on your hand like this, and grab it between your index finger and your thumb and make sure the yarn tail is facing down. Then what we do is we're gonna wrap it around like this. So now you have an X. I'll put that X between our index finger and our thumb. And then when we flip our hand over, we have 2 lines. So with your crochet hook, we'll put our hook under the first yarn, and then we're going to turn our hook over, and then we're going to grab that second line of yarn and we're going to pull it. Then when we pull it under, we're going to twist it. And then we're going to grab that long end of the yarn that's connected to the skein, grab it with your hook, and then pull it through. And then here is our magic circle or magic ring, whatever you call it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make 8 single crochets in the magic ring. So this is how you single crochet in a magic ring. All right, we're going to, with our crochet hook, we're going to stick it under the circle as well as the tail of the yarn. Then we're going to grab your working yarn and we're going to pull it under both. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through both. So we'll do that again. Stick your hook under the circle. See here how it's a circle and the tail of the yarn. Grab your working yarn, pull it up, yarn over, and pull your hook through both. we did that 4 times, so we'll do that 4 more times so we can have 8 single crochets in our magic ring. All right, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when we grab the tail of the yarn, and we're just gonna pull it and pull it and pull it until we can't pull anymore, and then there we have our circle. So that's why it's the magic ring / magic circle, because you just pull that tail and it makes this circle. Okay, so that was round 1, where we did 8 single crochets in a magic ring. And then now we're going to increase, which means we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. All right, so in the very first stitch here, we're going to insert our hook. So insert your hook in the very first stitch, yarn over and pull it up. Then yarn over and pull through both. And that is how you single crochet. And we're going to put a stitch marker here. This is our first stitch of the round. So when we get back here, that's when we know it's a new round. All right, so we're increasing. So we're going to put our hook right back in that same stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn up, yarn over, pull through both. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch for an increase. All right, so insert it into this next stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through both. So that's how you single crochet. And to increase, you just repeat that in the same stitch. For a single crochet increase, it just means you're going to put 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And that is how you increase and make the circle wider. And then at the end of this round, we are going to have 16 stitches. So it's always good to count your stitches at the end of the round. All right, so we have 16 single crochets in this round. Just go back and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So after the second round, we're done with one of her ears. So to finish it off, what we do is we are going to just slip stitch it shut. So in the where the stitch marker was in the first single crochet of that round, insert your hook, and then to slip stitch, we inserted our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through the stitch as well as the what was on your hook. So we'll just yarn over and pull through both. That's a slip stitch. And then that's it. And then now we're just going to fasten this off, cut the yarn. So that is it. And then leave a little bit of a tail when you cut your yarn so we can sew the ear on later. So you're going to repeat this twice. You're going to repeat this a second time for the second ear. And then this is also the start of the head. So repeat this again twice. But the second time you repeat it, or on your third time, don't cut the yarn. And we'll show you why right here and how to continue crocheting for the head. All right, so we repeated that twice. So in total, we crocheted 3 circles. So the first 2 where you cut the yarn off and left that tail so you could sew it, we're going to set those aside because we're going to sew them on later to the head because these are the ears. All right, so the one that's still attached that we didn't cut off, we're going to continue and crochet, and this will be round 3. All right, so for round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So that's our first stitch. We'll put in our stitch marker, and then we are going to increase in the following stitch, and we're going to repeat that until the end of the round. So we'll do 1 single crochet, which we already learned, and then 1 increase, which we already learned as well. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. So for a single crochet again, we insert our hook, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull through both. And then for the increase is the same thing. It's a single crochet increase. So we're just putting 2 single crochets in that next stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both, increase. We just do it twice. All right, so in this round 4, we're doing 2 single crochets and 1 increase. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then the next one increase. So 2 single crochets and 1 increase. So it's just 1, 2, increase. That's kind of how I remember it. And we'll keep doing that till we get back to our stitch marker, because that's the end of the round. So 1, 2, and then increase. And yeah, we'll repeat that until the end of the round. All right, so we should have 32 single crochets at the end of this round, and then we are done. See, it's starting to look like that perfect Mickey head. So if you do want the head a little bit bigger, you can crochet 1 more round with 3 single crochets and 1 increase to continue making that flat circle. But since I think this looks good, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and cut the yarn like I did with the last one. I like to just kind of slip stitch, just kind of secure it. And then this one, we don't need to make it too long, since where you're using all the ones to sew on the ears. And then if you have a few gaps, one thing you can do is grab your crochet hook and just kind of weave this in. And then it gets rid of this tail, and then it also helps with those gaps. And then now we're just going to go ahead and get your needle and sew it on. And if it's not perfect, it's okay, because remember, she has her bow to kind of cover it up. So with our needle, we'll just go ahead, thread the needle with the yarn. And then, yeah, just sew it all together. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, because she's going to wear her big bow that we'll crochet next. And then it'll cover any mistakes. So that's another one thing I really enjoy about crocheting, is that if it doesn't have to be perfect, and if there's a mistake you don't like, there's a lot of ways to cover it up. All right, and then now we're going to switch to our pink yarn for the bow. All right, so for the bow, we make a chain. To start a chain, you need a slip knot first to put on your hook. So what I do is I have the yarn tail facing down between your thumb and your index finger. Then I grab the working yarn, the one attached to the skein, the longer end of it, and then I just kind of cross it over like this. So there's an X, and you have that loop right here. And then you make it, see that X, how it's an X right there, and then you put that between your thumb and your index finger. And then, once again, with the long end of the yarn, we'll pull it back around our index finger. And then we're going to pull it through the loop. And then we'll pull it, and then there's our slip knot. And we'll pull it on our hook. And if we don't like it, we can always undo it because it's a slip knot. Anyway, so we'll do that again, facing down, and then cross it over, and then pull it around. And if you want, you could put your crochet hook to grab it when you pull it around, and then with those other two ends of the yarn, you could pull that. And there's your slip knot. And if you don't want the tail to be so long, you can just pull the other end more to kind of loosen it up how you like. So there we go, we have our slip knot. All right, so with our slip knot on the hook, we're going to chain. How we chain is we yarn over and pull it through. Same thing, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull up. We're going to do that 12 times. All right, and then after the 12th time, now what we're going to do is we're going to crochet all the way back. We're going to half double crochet. But we're going to do it on the second stitch from the hook. So this is the first stitch, and then this is the second one. So we skip one. Anyways, so we'll yarn over, and then find the second stitch from the hook. Here's one stitch, here's the second one. We'll insert our hook. And then we'll yarn over, and then we're going to pull through all three of these. So that is how we half double crochet. So yarn over, insert it into the next stitch, then yarn over and pull through all three of them. So it's very similar to a single crochet, just you yarn over before you insert your hook into the next stitch. And once again, it doesn't have to be perfect because the way we do the bow, you'll just kind of see at the end how it turns out. All right, so you should have 11 half double crochets across. So anyways, it's starting to come together. So what we're going to do is we're going to, after you did your 11 half double crochets, what we do is we're just going to chain one. So yarn over, pull through, and then we'll turn our piece over like this because we're crocheting from right to the left, and then we'll, same thing on the second stitch from the hook, we'll half double crochet. So we'll skip the first stitch, which was our chain one, and then the second stitch is right here. And we'll just half double crochet again. And same thing, 11 half double crochets. All right, so earlier we did our chain, then we half double crocheted, then we chained one, turned it over again. So basically you need to do 4 rows of half double crochet. So we did our chain, then 1, 2, 3, 4, until you have this rectangle. And then this doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be her bow. I know right now you're thinking, how is that the bow? Anyways, so once we're done, we'll just go ahead and slip stitch to cut the yarn. Anyways, we'll leave that in later. And then grab your yarn. Yeah, we'll weave in the ends later with your yarn. Put it down the center. And then just tie it in a really tight knot. And then, so once it's in your knot and you tied it tight so that way it's kind of scrunched up, I'm just going to wrap it around as many times as you want.